Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. If Nigeria is truly a country in which there is checks and balances in its democracy, by now the National Assembly would have stopped work at the so-called Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and began a thorough investigation based on the allegations that was raised by the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Unfortunately, Nigeria is saddled with a rubber-stamped National Assembly that are not asking questions. But there, we are going to look at some of the questions they could have asked, what they should have done if truly we have a democracy that works for Nigerians. Because former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, in a recent revelation, highlighted some of the issues that the National Assembly should be pursuing by now, but they are not pursuing it. That is what we're going to talk about in this video, and perhaps the National Assembly will mend their ways, no matter how difficult it may seem to them to do the needful, because what is involved is over 15 trillion naira and more. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar revealed that the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway didn't meet minimum threshold of due process. He had described it as wasteful and a highway to fraud. Look at how he described it, that it is wasteful and a highway to fraud. And he was citing the claim made by the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, that the highway will tentatively cost 15.6 trillion naira. Now, Atiku equally knocked Umahi for altering the initial plan of the project after Gilbert Chagori's High-Tech had been awarded the contract without any competitive bidding. Can you imagine that? A project that worth over 15 trillion naira was awarded without competitive bidding. And we have a National Assembly. And this 15 trillion is just for the road. There is a rail that is supposed to pass through. By the time you add that rail, perhaps it may get up to 30 trillion or more. And this is a project that Atiku is alleging that didn't pass through any competitive bidding. And he was, if you read the whole thing, Atiku was conspicuously quoting the Minister of Works. That Minister of Works allegedly confirmed that there was no competitive bidding. Now, Atiku said, and I quote, Umahi had announced the project will be fully funded by High-Tech. And based on this, there was no competitive bidding. Now, according to Atiku, that Umahi said that the reason why there was no competitive bidding was because High-Tech, who won the contract, will build the whole thing by itself. So Atiku is disturbed that he said there was no, that was what Umahi said. But Umahi then turned around to say that High-Tech could only raise just 6% of the money for the pilot phase. The pilot phase they are talking about is the Lagos phase. That's why Atiku said this marks of deceit. Continue, Atiku said, Umahi had said in September 2023 that Gilbert Chagori's High-Tech had the money to construct the highway and that it would be PPP, public-private property investment, PPP. It's going to be based on PPP. High-tech was to build, operate, and transfer it back to the Nigerian government after years of tolling. According to Atiku, it was reported by every media organization, including those owned by Tinubu. It was on the basis of this proposal that high-tech was picked. So he now asks, why did Umahi then turn around to claim that it was not to be a PPP, but that the government will pay 15 to 30%? That is why every nation needs a National Assembly that has a mind of its own. That you have a mind of your own as a National Assembly doesn't mean that you are going to be confrontational. It is to take up issues like this and bring the executive to account. Atiku continue. Look at what Atiku said, which is the point of this video. He said, although the National Assembly approved 500 million for the project this year, the Tinubu administration has released 1.06 trillion. That is more than 200 times what is in the Appropriation Act. Can you beat that? The budget said that 500 million should be allocated for this project. The government has released 1.06 trillion. Who does that in a sane society? Which assembly? Because it means that the assembly was disregarded as nothing. That they budgeted 500 million, they released 1.06 trillion. Because they know that the assembly is a toothless bulldog. It's not going to do anything. And they have not responded. Several weeks after Atiku Abubakar brought up this matter, the National Assembly pretended they didn't see it. But if it were an issue that has to do with their budget padding, they would have reacted since, because it concerns all of them. But nobody has picked up this matter to table it at the National Assembly. Because a responsible National Assembly, where you have people who care about the country, they would have brought this statement by Atiku Abubakar and present it before the National Assembly and query everything that is going on in the so-called Lagos-Calabar Highway. Point by point. Point by point. But it's a shame what is going on in this country. And Atiku Abubakar continued. He said, this is what happens where the National Assembly fails in its duties. Of course, the National Assembly has failed in its duty. If it could budget 500 million for a project and they are spending 1.06 trillion already released, and I can bet you there are so many projects that deserve to be released, that are more urgent than Lagos-Calabar Highway. Minister of Finance is releasing their money in percentages, 10%, 20%, but this one can see, just for the Lagos angle alone, they have released 1.6 trillion. Atiku continued. He said it was curious that the 15.91 trillion announced by Umahi didn't include the cost of the railway component. He therefore wondered how much the project will cost if the railway component is included. Continuing, Atiku said, if 15.6 trillion is for the road component alone, then the total cost could be far higher when the railway is included. We want to know the cost of the railway. Do we still have people in the National Assembly who can ask questions? Where are the PDP and the Labour Party lawmakers? What are they doing there? Why have they not picked on this matter? The NNPP lawmakers in the National Assembly, are they pretending that they have not seen this statement by Atiku Abubakar? Are they pretending they are not aware of all these issues of corruption raised by Atiku Abubakar on this project, and not the least of which was the issue of conflict of interest which Atiku Abubakar raised, alleging that Gilbert Chigori, the owner of the high-tech, is allegedly a business partner of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that awarded the contract. Is that not enough reason for a National Assembly to ask questions, if we still have them? Or the National Assembly is just there only when their personal interests are affected? When one of them exposed that they padded budget to allegedly enrich themselves, that's when they will get the balls. They will act as fast as possible and suspend the man. So what are they talking about now? A National Assembly that knows its onions by now should have ordered a stop on that project in Lagos until there is clarity on that project. But are they going to do it? It remains to be seen. But if this is in another clime, it will not fly. That project will not fly without bringing clarity on what it is all about and the processes and procedures for its execution. The National Assembly, this National Assembly, obviously has failed Nigerians. If they didn't look into this matter, they have failed Nigerians. It means that indeed they are rubber stamp. There is no difference between the National Assembly and the executive. And if this is the kind of democracy that we are operating in Nigeria, it means that we need to go for tutorial on how to run a government, on how to run an inclusive government. People must be carried along. People must be told how their monies are being spent. The money being appropriated in the National Assembly does not belong to the National Assembly members or to the executive arm of government. It is the money from Nigerian oil and other resources. Those who spent it or who spend it or propose to spend it ought to be held accountable. There is need for accountability on Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. Will the National Assembly rise to the occasion, or will they remain silent forever? Thank you for watching this video, and if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.